It says we're frickin' live. Who knows nowadays? So you can wait for people to show up because I didn't advertise this one tonight. If we don't get anybody in the next 10 minutes, I guess we don't have to do it this late. Well, hell, we got one come in. Hi, Hunter. Well, up to 2 people watching. Hopefully y'all can hear everything. Wouldn't be surprised if it ain't working on the audio with everything else that hadn't been working tonight. I started this project at 7 o'clock and I'm just now getting on. Oh, Lord. Going pretty good, Hunter. Except for computers are about to drive me up the wall. Oh, we're up to 4 people watching. All right. Well, now we're back down to 3. I don't think this thing keeps very good track of what's going on. Anyway, y'all be sure to chime in over there. Let me know how everything's sounding and everything's looking. Besides the obvious glare coming from behind my head from the ceiling lights, which I can't do much about that. But yes, we are live from the workshop, and we are going to do some workshop stuff here tonight. We're going to let it run here for a few minutes before I start that. Hunter, could be the bluing rubbing off that causing that patch, or it could just be dirt and grime, but all of them have it. I don't have my I don't have one of my regular ones here that I use pretty often, but on the one that I carry my 73 single action in, it's got some black spots, and I don't carry it in there very much. It ain't putting the gun being in it that does it. It's taking that gun in and out. But yeah, it'll rub some of the bluing off. There's no doubt about it. There's no way to go about really preventing it. Well, sometimes, Hunter, the cheap holsters aren't bad. I had a couple for a while, but realized that I could do better. So I did better. All right. Yeah, this chat feed's really slow tonight. So there's only 3 or 4 people on here. I don't know if I dare open up Facebook and try to advertise it over there, because god dang it. Every time I try to open something on frickin' Chrome here, it has a goddamn hissy fit and crashes. So we might not ought to mess with anything being working right now. So yeah, I tried starting this at 7 o'clock and kept saying that my webcam was being used by another program. I couldn't do a live stream, so then I did a restart. This thing has an i7 processor in it. Well, I found out just because it's got an i7 doesn't mean that it's any faster than an i5 or an i3, because when it's starting up, it takes its own sweet frickin' time, and every computer I've had made by Dell does that. And the cheap Walmart one that didn't even have an i3 processor had lower than that in it. Still takes half a damn hour for the computer to get woke up when you do a restart. I actually had to restart it twice because it still said the webcam wasn't working as shit. And then the damn Chrome had to throw a fit for the last half hour. All right. Well, it is really slow tonight. I probably should have known better than to try to do it this late, but you never know. If it doesn't get good reception, I'll do it again tomorrow. But of course, we've gone this late before and later. Things I got tomorrow off. I ain't going to worry about it too much. All right. So for anybody that comes back and watches this again later, what we're going to do today, and for those of you watching now, what we're going to do today on the live stream, hopefully, is do a toe plug and then do some finishing on the edges here of a couple holsters that need to get going, get rolling. I've been slow on getting holsters done, too slow. But we'll see what we can get done here today. Looks like there's just about 3 people watching, so I didn't think we get too many. And I didn't give this much advertisement ahead of time, so I'm not surprised. Oh, I was going to check the weather right now real quick. It was supposed to rain tonight. It never did. Now they're saying it's going to rain tomorrow. Things are front coming in. I might go fishing tomorrow too. All right, let's quit dicking around before I screw up the computer here. Yeah, we'll get started here, I guess. Start putting some toe plugs in. Try to get caught up on orders. This holster I know is way behind. There's another one even further behind on that, but not much I can do about it right now. Oh, Duke, you dumbass. Shit. All right, so I already screwed this one up. I did this a couple days ago because goddamn trains. Yeah, so I did this toe plug a few days ago. Actually, I think I glued it last week and I never got stitching it, but I forgot to do a very vital task before I went and dyed it and cut the stitch groove. And that was I did not fit it. I didn't fit it down to the holster. So when you do these, you've got to fit them. Especially for this holster, bangs that I have not got an actual pattern of toe plug for this. At least I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the pattern for this toe plug for this holster. Looks like I did just exactly what I did this time. I just found took that exact same pattern and I just trimmed it down. So I've got to redo this, but the good side is, even though I have, oh, hey, there's Dryball Jimmy. Even though I've got this one already dyed and the groove cut, I've got some redemption on the other side. So this is where this little tool comes in handy. I got this tool. This comes in that kit. This was the sharpest knife I've ever gotten out of a box or right off the bat. And I need to strop the edge on it. This thing has actually proved pretty useful. I didn't think, I tried skiving with it, and with that square edge, it's a bitch to skive with. But when it comes to trimming up toe plug the right way, this thing has proved invaluable. Well, we're up to 7 viewers. So far, just 2 commenters. Might pay off doing a late night chat. I said if this doesn't work out tonight, we'll try another one tomorrow. All right. Just test to make sure I got it sharp. Oh yeah, it's sharp. This thing is like a razor blade. Well, not quite. It's a little dull, but yeah, Hunter, I'm up in Wyoming. Beautiful part of Wyoming. Well, all of Wyoming's beautiful. I really like this part of Wyoming. There's squib load. Well, squib, we're glad to have you here, even if you're here for a short time. I didn't think anything was going to work out. I started this project at 7 o'clock, fighting with the computer ever since. So wound up 9 o'clock. Wasn't sure if it would be a good idea to keep doing it, but we might do another one tomorrow if this one turns out to be a failure. Although tomorrow I won't be able to do it as late because I got to work. All right, so we were going to trim this sucker down. So I'll show you how I trim this up. Just take our knife here. I'm just going to start knocking off corners, and I may have knocked off too much already. God. Woo. Jesus. I forgot to take my allergy pill this morning. Ooh, Lord. And I didn't get too much that time. So even though it's still kind of square, it's kind of blocky, we'll shove this thing in there. And, ooh, boy, I cut that just about right. So maybe I didn't cut it too much like I thought I had, but could use a little thinning out. So there it is. Fits right in. Now I can find my tool that I used to drop it out. So what I knock them out with is just my rivet setter. Just drop that down in. It'll push them right out. I'm just going to take a little bit off of that edge right there. Just kind of straighten that up a little bit. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Straighten that up a little bit. And then I'm going to come back in and freaking ants are bothering me too. Just start knocking the corners off. I don't like that there. All right, so that's pretty well rounded up. Drop that in. That looks pretty decent right there. Oh boy. All right. So take the edge beveler after that. And it's kind of, I don't do a real steep hard bevel on this. I just do enough just to kind of break that edge and make it look a little nicer. And it also gets whatever pin marks are left on it. There's a pin mark right there. Although this one's going to be dyed black, it shows through on the other colors. And I just try to run down on the corner, and it just kind of cleans up the tip of it a little bit. All right, and then go back in, and then I'm going to put my stitch groove in. So what I do with that is I try to, best as I can, line up that little cutter head right at that point. And then we're going to just go around the thing, come back over, and it's grooved. After you get practice with that, it gets a lot easier. When you first start out, you'll slip and slide and overdo it. And then just to make life a little easier when I put it in there after I get everything set up, I'm glad I didn't do it this time on the other side because I hadn't fitted it yet. Just go around and trim off this inside corner. So I tried to dye this ahead of time so that the stitching would look nice and sharp, because I'm kind of liking how that looks when I dye the leather beforehand. But yeah, what the hell, we'll do it this one anyway still. All right, so I was hoping I'd have this sewed in tonight, but I think I'll dye it first, and then we'll see where we're at. I've got another one here. I can stitch a hey, Jeffrey. Yeah, Garrett. So I'll tell this story again. I started this project at 7 o'clock. Went live about 9:15. So goes to show how my night's been going. Computer's not been cooperating with the crap tonight. Anyway, I'm going to run around the corner. I'm going to put some dye on this right quick, and then I'll let it dry. Hopefully it'll be dry enough I can finish this tonight in the live stream. I want to get the holster done so I can get it shipped out to the buyer. And like a dumbass, I should have went and put my rubber gloves on before I started dicking with this, and I got dye on my fingers, so I'll have to be careful when I'm stitching her out later here. All right. Oh, funny, Garrett, funny. Okay, so it says we got about 5 still watching. All right, I guess we're doing good here. All right. So I've got that one dyed. We're going to get that done tonight here on the chat or off the chat, but it's going to get done before I go to bed. So I guess before I start sewing a toe plug, I got another toe plug I got to cut out too. So this is how the toe plugs start. Just out of a scrap piece of leather. And then I'm going to take my razor, which this box cutter is with this Herman Oak has proved more valuable than them little X-Acto knives I use. So anyway, I'm probably never going to use this piece here, so I'm just going to get it the heck out of the way right off the bat. Might get a toe plug out of that corner there, so I'm not going to mess with it. I'll just kind of come in here, get things started, get them into a more manageable size. Judging by from the smell in the room, in the spray booth, dye room, I think I've got bats living in the attic because the bat guano smells pretty stout in there. They can live in the attic all they want, as long as they don't come down in this part of the house. At which point they are fair game. Although they're not doing me any service getting the bugs away. All kinds of bugs in the house tonight. Okay, so when it comes to cutting around the curve, easiest thing to do is a series of small, straight cuts. There's one. Outside cuts are pretty easy. Inside cuts are kind of a pain in the ass. And that's putting it lightly. If I'm a little salty tonight, it's going to be an uncensored chat because that computer done ticked me off. All right. Try to keep from getting too much of black dye on everything. There's two. Where do we go from here? Well, then we goes to the glue bucket. So get the glue bucket out. And if I could find the proper tool to open this. Now I've got a dozen of these. If I break it, ain't gonna hurt nothing. Okay. Now I do not recommend opening contact glue in a non-ventilated area. But to show you folks, I'm going to do this in here instead of over in the spray booth. This stinking crap. At least it doesn't stink like Ballistol. So I got a good story. I was at work the other day and one of the old timers there, real nice guy I really, really like. Anyway, he decided that the leather needed to be oiled for our Canon equipment. So he grabs a Ballistol, and Ballistol, says it's good for leather on the bottle. In the office, he starts pouring that stuff all over. I think just about everybody in the office like to puke their guts out because he poured that Ballistol. Oh God, he had that Ballistol smell permeating through that office so bad. Oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. All right. So when you put that stuff on there, you gotta let it set and kind of dry. Some folks say it works better if you put on 2 thin layers and then another layer of glue and then stick the glue to itself. But when it gets to where it starts soaking into the leather, I just start pushing it together. Hey, and we got 11 bang bang, so we got Ethan on too. Yeah, Jeff, the Ballistol is good for that stuff, but yeah, I don't recommend dumping copious amounts of it on leather in an office in order to oil the leather. What was real funny is when he tried scrubbing that shit off the desk. That stuff gets everywhere when you pour it out like that. All right, so once I get them glued together, I put a weight on them. I got to go grab a weight. So it's funny. My 2 dogs, out of the 2 dogs, Dolly is the one that she can't get away from Dad for more than 2 seconds. Grace, as long as Dolly's around, she's fine. She don't have to be around me all the time. But when it comes down to food, Dolly would rather be closer to the food bowl than closer to Dad. She's in the kitchen sitting by the food bowl, and Grace is sitting here. Basically, I'm having to walk around her, but yeah, she's in here on the hard rubber floor, which she usually doesn't do because I'm in here. Yeah, I watched the Bowflex. I should use that Bowflex more often. Being the landlord is kind enough to leave it in here for me, I should use it and work out more than what I do. I wish it had the sliding seat on it so I could do the rowing exercise. I like doing that exercise. All right, so I'm waiting for the other things to dry out. We got this holster here. And Garrett, this is one of the ones that is going to be sending your way here before too long. So this one has a little bit different toe plug because this was a little bit different pattern than I thought was when I drew it out. It was the earlier pattern that's a little bit tighter fitting, but it still fits fairly nice. I adapted the pattern. This is the one that I widened out the trigger guard relief. But I used the tighter body pattern when I did that, and I didn't realize I'd done that until after the fact. But anyway, toe plug on that one fits nice and snug. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue in there. Now with toe plugs, I glue a little bit different. So with contact cement, you should glue both sides of what you're gluing. Put contact cement on both sides. It's kind of hard to get the toe plug in place when you've got contact cement and everything's sticking together. It's a real pain in the butt. So I just do it one side. One part gets glued. I usually put the glue on the inside of the holster. So these little popsicle sticks are the greatest thing when it comes to gluing. Next to the little tinning brushes. I really like tinning brushes if I'm gluing stuff. But popsicle sticks are a hell of a lot cheaper. Unless I'm gluing big stuff, then I just get those cheap throwaway brushes. Don't ever use them little sponge brushes. I found out that the glue just eats them alive. And try not to get glue. And it's really hard to not do that. God, that stuff is sticky. Jesus Christ, I think I took some hairs. Anyway, try not to get glue on the edges here. I got some. If you catch it before it completely dries, it'll peel off. But before that glue starts to really set, I go ahead and slide this toe plug in there. Contact cement don't hold items real well. It sticks to itself better, but it's it works long enough. It's basically holding this toe plug in place until I can get it stitched. That's all the glue is really doing. Just holding this down. Well, Squib Glue, at least I helped somebody out tonight. Oh, that's funny. So is this Herman Oak? Yeah, that's Herman Oak. This is all Herman Oak. Okay. Oh, and I did get a new order of Herman Oak in tonight. So, and I got a blunder with that. Not the Herman Oak. The Herman Oak looks actually better than the first two I've ever ordered. The stuff that just come in today looks excellent. In fact, we'll unroll it on camera today. But anyway, yeah, when I get that toe plug glued in there, I like to put a little weight on it. Try to get the glue to stick a little better. I don't know if I can put a weight on it. I have a problem with putting a weight on it. You gotta have something block it so it stays in place. I'll do it like this. All right, let me grab that. Y'all can watch the blow flex again. Blow. Oh, darling. All right. So I haven't looked inside this Herman Oak. It's still wrapped. And no, it's not a trash bag. It's black plastic wrap or shrink wrap or some type of wrap. But anyway, decided I was going to try to start lining holsters at no additional cost. So I wanted to get a real cheap leather to do it with. So I found some cheap goat skin that was listed as upholstery lining or garment grade leather. And they had this silver, what they call a silver goat skin. And I thought it looked pretty good. 1 to 2 ounce. So it comes in. On the backside, I wanted something that's kind of pale or smoky color. This is kind of a palish color. It's kind of a gray because deer skin is just too damn expensive to do deer skin and not add cost onto the holster. But yeah, this is what they had. This is a neutralist color they had. Looks neutral. But it's called a silver cochin or something to that effect. I ordered it in. They weren't kidding about the silver on the skin side. It is silver. Shiny, shiny silver. I mean, you can see the shine on it through the thing. So, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to do a test on some scrap leather. Take a corner off this and glue it and see how well it glues with that silver side. But, yeah, this is, it ain't bad, but that wasn't what I thought I was getting. So good news is I didn't spend a lot of money. I think I spent $1.50 on 12 square feet, $1.50 a square foot for 12 square feet. So wasn't terrible. I'll get use out of it, but wasn't what I thought. Next time I'm ordering, I'm going to go with a more of a smoke color. So go ahead and unwrap. I'm going to move my stitching back a little bit here while we're waiting for glue to dry. Figure out where the end of this thing is. My God, Springfield leather, you sure wrap this thing good. There's 2 layers of stuff on here. And I gotta give Springfield leather credit. They ship this stuff fast. I ordered it Friday. No, I take that back. I ordered it Tuesday. Anyway, it got here today. Well, I got here. They sent me the notification Friday that it was shipped. And it got here today. Yeah, at least it's a right weight this time. So last time I ordered 8 to 9, I got 7 to 8, which not that big a difference. This is definitely 8 to 9. Moment of truth. Oh my goodness. That is a beautiful piece of leather. The last 2 I ordered were crap. But they did me right this time. Oh yeah. Jesus, this is better quality than I thought. It's almost a, I'd almost rate that as a B instead of a Craftsman grade. Oh well. We did good there. So Springfield leather, I'm happy. It's softer. Ain't gonna need a ton of oil on it. Okay. So good to go there. Be ready to start making holsters again as soon as I get all these orders filled. All right. So there were some questions here. Yeah, Jeff, I do. In fact, I just brought one home. I don't think I have any others made up, but let me go grab it. I think I know right where it's at. Okay, now I'm back. So I've got this full flap one. This is for the 49 pocket, and I don't have my airsoft version here to show you, but yeah, this is a full flap design. I got to get some more of these studs ordered in. I kind of screwed up. This is one for a longer barreled version. I don't know if it would fit a 62 pocket or not. But this one is for Squiblo. This is actually for a Smith, or not Smith. Yeah, Smith & Wesson. It's actually for a Smith & Wesson. And there's a couple things I should have done different on it. Frickin' gnats, my God, they're bad in here tonight. Anyway, about screwed up on that. I had a brain fart and I just kept digging the hole out because it wouldn't fit over the acorn. Forgot that you're supposed to put a slit in it. But this is turning out nice unless, Garrett, you decide you don't want this one. But yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, I should have put the slit in there instead of cutting the hole bigger. Worst case scenario, well, no, I can't because that's the big. No, that ain't either. That is not the big finial. Where did the finials go? Sounds like something an Irishman would say. Where is those finials? Making it to the pinions. Shit. Told you it's going to be the uncensored one tonight. Hell, I don't even know where they went. They're on this wreck of a desk somewhere. Anyway, that's actually the small finial, so I can put the big one on there and we'd be in the ballpark being set. But anyway, yeah, this one's just about ready to go. I just need to do a finish on the edge. For whatever reason, the toe kind of come out a little crooked, but it's going to look nice either way. I cut this on the bottom corner of a piece of leather and it did not cooperate. But I've got another mold here, holster mold. And those 22 caliber Smith & Wesson Civil War era guns, about the exact same dimensions as the Colt pocket models when it comes to making a holster. But yeah, it fits that one real nice. Covers it up real good, so that one works. All right. Yeah, Jeff, you want to order one? Just email me at, let me type that in here. Okay, there's what you email me at. I'm trying to catch up on orders because with work, I just don't get a lot of time. And I've got to take at least one day for myself a week. So I think most of tomorrow's going to be done getting groceries. Freaking gnats are even in my gosh darn cup. Anyway, yeah, send an order in through the email. I'm trying to catch up. I don't know when I'm going to start processing new orders. I got some folks that are interested in some different holsters. So definitely in October when I get released and I get back home between hunting and stuff, I'm going to have more time to do this. And I'll be doing a hell of a lot more holsters then because I'm going to be making up my income. But yeah. All right. So all right, where was I at? All right. So we've got that one. The dye is pretty well dry on this one, so we can glue that in place. My gosh, there are gnats like crazy in here. Maybe if I turn the fan on. Well, hell, it helps with fans plugged in. And blast it. All right. Now it blows a gnat right in my eye. I don't know how the hell these little bastards are getting in here. Anyway, hopefully that noise ain't too bad. That's not a very big fan, so no, Garrett, those Slick Shot nipples are still in the original package that was shipped to me. I need to dig the camera out and do a video on it. I just haven't done it yet. I figure things I can't go out and shoot it, there's no sense in wasting time on it. Because I didn't bring any black powder. I didn't bring any of my black powder supplies up here. The only ammo I brought was my 223 and my 38 special. I didn't even bring that much 38 special. I just brought enough to reload twice. So I need to find some. I should have brought some 45 Colt ammo. I didn't think I'd have much time to go shooting because I couldn't find a shooting range real close by. And I found out, hell, there's a big chunk of BLM land about a mile from where I work. That's where all my coworkers go out and shoot. And then the neighbor told me that there was a spot, or my landlord told me that there was a spot up the hill here, but I haven't found that yet. Just go out on the BLM. Yeah, the downside to trying to clean up the overage on the contact cement when it's wet is you rub it right into the leather. It's best to let it dry and then try to rub it off. But it's going to get dyed and slicked anyway on the bottom, so this ain't going to be too bad. But yeah, we got another one glued in there. All right, Live and Bang. Have a good one, Ethan. All right, put the weight on that there. Gonna weigh it down a little bit. All right, now we come to the fun part of this, which is where this tool comes in handy. And before I get started with that, I seen a nifty thing that a fellow was using on one, and I'm going to put one on there. You excuse me just a second. Actually, you may not even have to excuse me that long. Now I'm going to have to go get a Now, if I got a pair of scissors here, which I don't think I do, crap. Oh, well, I got a knife. A knife will work just fine for what I'm going to be doing. All right, if I can find it. All right, trim this up a little bit. So, seeing a nifty little thing. So on these things, these edges can kind of make a dent in leather when you're stitching with them. So what I've seen somebody do is they take just a piece of leather, dadgum gnats, just take a little piece of leather like that and cover that edge. Then you won't rub your rubbed on the leather. Ooh, doing a holster video in the morning. All right. Sounds like fun, Garrett. Okay. So start off, I punch the first two holes in. And I like to try to do this before that glue gets too set, because if you don't do it, then that glue don't stick very good, and I don't want to hold it stuck down. All right. Ooh, I'm missing a needle. Shit. Well, that's not going to be fun because that's frayed out. All right, so when you start on these toe plugs, howdy, Sleepy Jeep. All right, so I've poked the two holes on either side start, and you got to start on the one opposite side that you starting from, you got to work that needle through there. So I go in. So I'm not starting really on this side. I'm not going this way. I'm going the opposite way. But to get over to the starting point, you got to go through that first hole, pull it through. Then you go over to the first hole on the opposite side, the side that you're actually going to be running from, and you go through there. And you don't want to pull too tight when you're doing this because you can tear through and essentially ruin your toe plug. At least with this leather, it's been doing that. You don't have to cinch this down like you're cinching on a horse that likes to buck. But you do need to be fairly snug, pull everything nice and tight. Then after that, I just start running my, after I get that started, I start running my holes through. So when I punch the holes around the outside, I'm actually not using the same hole punch that I run these with. I'm actually running a little bit wider of a stitch pattern, 7 1/8. The other one I think is 8 1/8 or 9 1/8. Goes a little wider. That's because in here they're going to be very close together. So if I run the same one, I found that the holes are too close together and they just tear through each other. Basically, you're cutting the leather. So run that wider. And then when I start, I try to start getting them close together. I don't go square to each hole because when you get up here to the point, you'll have like 3 or 4 holes or more. They're just right side by side, and you can tear through them as well. So down here, when I'm close, I try to run them fairly close together. So instead of coming perpendicular to the hole, I'm going to come in this way, if that makes sense to y'all. And see, I run that through just like that. I'll pull out, I'll run up to the next hole. So I'm trying to basically give myself some space when I get up into that curve. Man, you always got the one prick that don't want to go in through like it should. There we go. Might have to go find my pliers for this. Sometimes this needle just don't like to go through here. And this freaking thread. So I ordered some new thread. Got it from Springfield. It came in, and that thread is huge. Holy shit, that's a big fly. Anyway, yeah, I ordered the thread in, and it's too damn big for what I want to use. It's really heavy-duty crap. In fact, I'll go grab it. Actually, hang on. I'm going to read the chat here. I'm behind. Good one, Garrett. Yeah, that was a fun one to do. So yeah, there was dedicated, and they basically saddleries is what made a lot of holsters. RT Fraser saddlery. They made a lot of holsters. They made saddles. A lot of them, it was just general leather making, so they just added it to what they were already doing. It's kind of like me trying to get into saddle making. I'm going to be doing all kinds of leather stuff. So they basically just a general leather workshop. I haven't seen anything that was dedicated just specific to holsters. Most of them did other leather work as well. And you get that one stubborn SOB that don't want to punch through. And yeah, I hope I don't ever break this awl, because this awl has been the most useful tool. My other awl that I had, a little short one, I busted the tip off of it. I mean, I just snapped it clean. And I ordered it on Amazon. I couldn't find it anymore when I went back on, so it was a specific diamond pattern. Oh, Jeff, yeah, it could be a good gun for can plinking if you can get the sucker to work. I don't really particularly like shooting mine, but I got Slick Shots nipples for it. So when I get back home, if I can get to the range, I'm going to test it out and see if it improves. But from what I understand, unless you do Mark Hubbs's fix and put an extra mainspring in there, you're going to have a hell of a time getting it to function right. And I haven't bothered looking for an extra spring just yet. Boy, the gnats are bad in here. Imagine it's because I got the light on right above me, but holy crap. I might take back what I said about not wanting the bats in the house here before too long. Could be that this needs a strop too. But yeah, when you order these awls, they come duller than dull. I mean, they wouldn't poke a hole through paper hardly. Jeffrey, if you heard that your birdie's improved that mainspring, that's news to me, and I hope that that is the truth. That's not a rumor, because that mainspring was a bitch to deal with. Like I said, this is the uncensored version tonight. All right, so this up here, getting up into the tip, is where you start running into having enough space. And I just do it one hole at a time. I've tried poking multiple holes at a time, but I've found that you can get in trouble doing that. All right. Okay, so I got to make sure I keep enough space here and I don't cut into another hole. And I lied. I'm going to poke two holes here. Oops, wrong thread. That's the thread. Unrepenting Rebel says you use a sewing machine. Yeah, good if I could afford one. Not for toe plugs, though. Toe plugs you can't use a sewing machine on. Everybody that I watch that does a toe plug, they'll stitch the holster on the machine and then sew the plug in by hand later. I choose to do everything by hand, mostly because, like I said, I can't afford a machine right now. The machine I want is way too spendy. I do not sell enough leather to justify the purchase of that machine. I could find a Landis, and then I don't have the space to justify buying a Landis. Okay, so once I get around the corner here, then I'm going to poke the rest of the holes. If I was to start using a sewing machine, I think I probably wanted to go with a Cobra to start off with. That's what I've been looking at anyway. They're a little bit more affordable, and from what I heard, they make a pretty decent stitch. The thing about a Landis is the Landis looks hand stitched to somebody that doesn't know better, just because of the way that it stitches. That and that foot feed that moves the leather through the machine. The whatever they call that little foot that kicks the leather back, it can mark the leather, and I don't like that because you can tell that that's machine stitched when they do that. I prefer the look of the hand stitched look. Okay, come on. Get through there. You always got one that don't want to go through the hole. Hey, there's the scissors I was wondering about earlier. Now if I could just find my dead gum pliers. Well, all debuggered. Every time I need something, I ain't got it here. It's just about the way that it works, too. All right, let's see if I can do it this way. There we go. Well, Rebel, Landis, you can find the Landis for a couple $1,000, but you're probably going to have to refurbish a lot of it. The Campbell and Randall that I want brand new is about 10 grand. You can find used or refurbished ones for 4 to 6 grand, but they're hard to find. But with the amount of debt that I'm trying to catch up from with last year, because I had to use my credit card to pay a lot of bills last year, thanks to the beer virus. I got to get caught up on those. I'm getting close. I got to finish getting caught up on those, and then I can start thinking about buying a sewing machine. Yeah, Sleepy Joe, they do hang on to them. All right, so I made it all the way around. This doesn't take very long at all to do toe plugs. I don't know why. There's a lot of folks I know leather work don't like doing them. They're not that much of a pain in the butt, but I've made it all the way around. I've got the last stitch to do. So with the thread that's going to go up through the hole here, I'm going to go up with it right on through, finish off the stitch there. And then I'm going to go back across again and out the other side. So down here at this point, I'm going to go through and out the other side. This is where I probably will need pliers, because then you've got already got 2 strings running through it. Oh, by God, I got it through there without it. Once I got it through, then the leather or the strings on both sides, Now I'm going to start running and doing my back stitch. So I always like to back stitch about 5 back stitches. Tried to anyway. And this can be a little tricky because things have moved after putting the toe plug in, and the holes down there directly in line with where that toe plug's setting don't line up anymore. So you're going to kind of wiggle the thread through. Whoops, and I try not to split threads if I can help it, because it just does not work very well if you go through your thread. All right, so then we're back in line with the main stitch. Whoops, and I just poked a hole in that leather. Good thing that's on the back side where nobody will see it. I'm going to go from this side first then. And that's down far enough that it's going to cover up with a thread. Now, even though these are blunt needles, they can poke through the leather if you push hard enough. They won't go through that main part of the leather, but they'll sure poke through the epidermis layer, the outer layer. Jeffrey Davis, what's my favorite Captain Ball revolver? I really like the Navy. I really do. I like the Walkers. The Patterson, I like the history of the Patterson, but the Patterson itself is kind of a pain in the butt. But I enjoy the Uberti one that I got. Not a real big fan of the Dragoons. Not a real big fan of the pocket pistols. Not saying the pocket pistol isn't fun. It can be fun when it cooperates. But at 51 Navy, it's elegant, beautiful. 61 Navy, I think, is elegant and beautiful as well. But the 51 always be my top. And the 1860 Army isn't bad either, but just something about that Navy revolver. Just a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. Now, Rebel at Remington, I don't know. They are not my favorite. I have yet to shoot one that'll go through and last as long as a Colt without dirtying and gumming up. See, I've already beveled the edges on that, and I've already trimmed it up to match. My God, these gnats are about to drive me nuts. Yeah, I didn't like that writing on there either, Jeffrey. That's why I went with a Uberti. But if you want a gun that's going to shoot long, last you forever, never wear out, buy a Piata. If you want one for living history like what I do, and you need to have that more historically accurate look, go with the Uberti. But Ubertis tend to wear out pretty fast. Oh... Boy, we're getting spammed tonight. Started off with some religious spammers, which that one didn't bother me as bad, but they were getting pretty bad there. Yeah, Garrett. I need to set somebody else as a moderator because my moderator guys aren't here anymore. Plowboy was my moderator. Jeremy was a moderator, but they're not here on the chat tonight. Somebody told me that those are, yeah, well, mats are expensive. Somebody told me those spammers are all bots anymore. Sleepy Joe, you're better off starting with a canted holster. So like the holster that I do here is cut for a cant. So yeah, this one's cut to ride canted, but the nice thing about it is this is cut for 3-inch. It will fit a 3-inch tightly, but if you have a 2-inch belt, you can turn it straight up and down. So yeah, the cant, it's better to have the cant if you want to carry it canted than you can carry it straight. But if you try canting a straight holster, which you're going to wind up doing, and I've done this, this is from experiences, it puts stress on the stitches and then they can pull out. Puts added stress on the stitches anyway. That's why I'm starting to kind of put, especially on these 2-piece or these fold over style belt loops, that this part is always the first part to come loose in my experience with them. So that's why I've started riveting them on. I don't have a lot of room, and I've never found a picture of one of these that was riveted, but it seems like almost all of these have a rivet in them historically. Not all, a good portion of them do. But yeah, anymore, these come with rivets. Jeffrey Davis, is that chocolate covered maple smoked baking soda? No, it was Sunset Sarsaparilla, or not Sunset, excuse me, Sioux City Sarsaparilla. I've been playing Fallout too long. Every time I talk about sarsaparilla, it's always Sunset. Where I work at, we've got an association that sells stuff, basically because government can't run its own stores. So last year with COVID, they had a excessive stockpile of soda. It all expired this spring. They couldn't sell it last year because of COVID, so they're giving the stuff away. So I always get a case or two a week. Yeah, Sleepy Jeep, Sleepy Leap, I guess. I thought that said Jeep. Shows how good my eyes are now. Yeah, if you start with a cross with that style, now if you start with a cross draw, this style, this fold over, it's pretty much going to be cross draw all the time. It's going to be really difficult to carry it up and down. But with this style, it's pretty easy to can it. The one that I've got that I put all the fancy spots on that I use at work, that one, I carry it both ways. Jeff, I kind of find that it has more of a vanilla flavor for me, but it's a root beer. It's essentially what it is just root beer with a little different flavor. Kind of a mix between a root beer and a cream soda. I really like birch beer too, but she didn't have too much of that left. She had a couple of little 4-packs, and I took them drank them up. But yeah, birch beer is pretty good. Cream soda I could hit or miss with. I like root beer. I like sarsaparilla. But yeah, I saved my bottle caps in case there's, atomic annihilation. At least I'll have some currency. If any of you get the reference. All right, bangs were here. Things are going good. We've only been running for about an hour and 15 minutes. We'll go a little longer. And I'm going to get this holster done tonight because the gentleman paid for it. I need to get it going. All right, so I'll poke my initial hole. And I might have trimmed that just a hair too short. But it's going to work. If I tear up the toe plug, I can always cut it out and do it again. But you tear up the side of the holster, you're screwed. Yeah, it wasn't just a hair too short. Whoops. Dummy, you got to go back through. Dadgum, that didn't taste too good. Jesus. And he had to sit there and buzz in the back of my throat. And God dang it. And that'll tighten up when we get closer down there. So I'm going to go ahead and poke a couple, 2 or 3 holes here. This is punching much nicer. Yeah, I thought about getting into the Highland stuff, but I got enough to do with living history in the Old West. I just don't have time to do it. But yeah, I thought about getting into some of that. Buying a kilt, getting a Murdoch pistol, and a Scottish basket hilt sword. I actually looked into buying a kilt in the traditional Fraser clan tartan, but I said I got enough crap to do with 1800s living history. I don't need to add that in the mix, at least not right now anyway. When it comes to doing these toe plugs, hey, there's Plowboy. How's it going, Plowboy? Figured he'd finally show up here. When it comes to doing these toe plugs, these round ones are more of a pain. I like doing these oblong ones. They're not as much of a pain to sew. Plowboy in a kilt. That would be an interesting sight. You still got your 66 Winchester, Plowboy? All right. Dead gum bugs are about to drive me nuts tonight. Oh, man, you already traded it off. Jeez, I'd have bought it from you. Did you at least get something decent? All right. I guess if I'm going to show you what I'm sewing, I should cut the camera angle down a little bit. Like I said, when I pull this, I don't pull it real tight. I just kind of snug it up. But I don't want to cut through the leather. Come on. You got to be careful when you're pushing this through. Don't just jam it through in there on the awl, because you could cut through the sidewall of the holster. What you want to do is try to aim for that hole that's already punched there. Just connect it through. And if you go slow, you can kind of see where that point of that awl is going to poke through at, and you can adjust. If you just go jamming it in there, it will not always line up. What was it that I was watching that movie, The Outpost, and they said, don't rush for failure. Take your time. If you rush, you're rushing for failure. Sometimes I have a hard time remembering that. Oh, you did get an open top. Oh, nice. Top 45 and then a 642. Okay. Wasn't a bad deal. All right. Now I got to be careful because, like I said, getting up here into the point, the holes get closer together, and I don't want to cut my thread, and I don't want to cut through two holes. Well, on the toe plug, it's not going to be as noticeable, but I notice it. And not only is I got to make the customer happy, I need to make myself happy when I'm sewing it too. All right, there's that one. Boy, the bugs are freaking terrible in here. My God. Wonder if they're coming in. I bet they're coming in through the back door. Give me just a quick second. See if that'll slow the bugs down. There's a gap in the back door in the screen. But there you can kind of see what I mean by the stitches are set here and then they get really tight up here at the top. Start getting closer together, but then when you start going down the other side, then they start spacing out again. And I went ahead and poked all those holes. I don't recommend doing that, but I went ahead and did it anyway because I wasn't thinking. Getting late. Garrett, sounds like you're wanting a Bowflex in your life. I need to use that thing more than I do. I got a bench press here behind me, a bunch of weights. I need to start practicing or doing stuff with that. But right now it's holding a lot of leather stuff. Yep. And then you can count your holes too if you do punch ahead like I did like that time. Make sure they all kind of even out. Yeah, that should work, Sleepy. Yeah, if you do a 2-inch belt with that size that I got there, of course, it depends on the size of the holster too. So on this one, so on these I've got, and this is an earlier model that I didn't put a rivet in. On these ones, it's harder to do that with. It's easier on the Navy models, a little bit bigger. I could probably come up with a pattern. To fix that. But really with those pocket models with such a short barrel, cross draw isn't really necessary, so to speak, because there's such a short barrel. Where cross draw comes in handy with those longer barrels is like back in the day is for riding horses. They kind of get in the way. Shorter barrel's not such a big issue. Yeah, no worries, Sleepy. Holy crap. Dadgum bugs about to drive me nuts. Well, boys and girls, this one's just about to get done with. Do my last bit of back stitching here. And tomorrow, this one will get finished up. And I gotta go to the post office tomorrow too, because I got another holster here that's sold. My younger dog makes sucking noises when she's asleep, and I don't know what it is, but she sits there like she's sucking on a teat or something. Hear her sucking away. Oh, what the hell happened here? Oh, that's cool. That's really slick. Asshole. Okay, last stitch. Good thing, because this thread's about wore out. All right, so a little extra tip here on when you're cutting. I try not to slice a string, because if you do that, you can slice a holster, your leather. So what I try to do is lay the knife up against the thread and then pull it back, and still can slide a little bit. It's best to do it like this, where you're going kind of away from what you're working on. But there we go, another toe plug in. So this one that goes to this holster, which is kind of a hybrid. I think I've showed this on the channel before. I'll show it tonight. So this is kind of a copy of one that I found a picture of. I thought it was for a Navy, but I found out it was actually for a Dragoon. But it's a classic, just a closed throat style. On the back side, there's a trigger guard cut out. And on that original, it's cut out on the side with the belt loop. So that was definitely designed for a cavalry style draw. But like I said, that was on a Dragoon holster, not a Navy, but I made it for a Navy. This toe plug will go for it. I'm not going to do it tonight, but tomorrow I'll get it set up to, I'm going to have to trim up that toe plug. But yeah, so this one's about ready to go. It's going to get finished up here so I can get that shipped out. I doubt I get it shipped tomorrow, but it'll be shipped out here next week. But we'll finish this tomorrow. We'll just go ahead and plan on doing another chat tomorrow. And I'll show the last stages of the finishing process on the holsters, which I don't think I've done that on a live stream before. Been so long since I don't remember what I've done on here. But anyway, we're going to call that good for tonight, because I'm getting tired. It's about time to go to bed. So if you got any last minute questions here, we'll run for a couple more minutes. I guess we go for about another 10 minutes or so. And and we'll shut it down here at 11 o'clock my time, which is, I think I said, about 10 minutes out. Ha! Yeah, Garrett. Yeah, I'll do one just so I can show the finishing process, because I'm going to have all these holsters finished hopefully before next week. But yeah, this is the other one. I'm going to stitch some tomorrow, and then we'll do some finishing on them. But yeah, Garrett, here's your other one, still in this form, but it's going to get stitched up here pretty soon. This one won't take too long. I got to put the strap loop on, which is actually going to cover up a blemish that I've got in the tooling, which is going to be nice because, yeah, my tooling got off a little bit. But there's a lot here to work on, that's for sure. I got another holster up here. It's a left-handed Schofield, also fed a 73 single action. This is going to have to get stitched up here. It's ready to stitch. Had one little snafu with the loop I cut a little deep on, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. Sleepy, yeah. So years ago with the old chrome tan processing, if you had a holster, it was lined with chrome tan, it would rust the gun because chrome tan is a salt. They use salts to tan it. Nowadays, they don't use as much salt. The chrome tan process has changed a bit. But yeah, you can put beeswax on them. I usually don't do much on the inside, although I've noticed this Herman Oak stuff that I use is really, really rough. That's why I started looking at doing a lining cheap that wouldn't really change much on the price of the holster, which I'm going to have to, like I said, find a different skin to do that with, and them silver things, because I don't know if I'm going to make too many fancy holsters with them and be able to sell them. But I'm probably going to try that here on. As soon as I get orders filled, I'm going to try to get that done. I've got another holster here I got to do, which I might do a little bit of a tooling on a live stream. This is for a gent that ordered one last year, and then for whatever reason we lost contact, and so I'll end up redoing it. But I got to tool this one, which I screwed up and I dyed it first. It's not going to be an issue, but when I wet it, whatever excess dye is on there might start getting everywhere. But yeah, I gotta just do a simple border step on this one. We might do that in a live stream in the next week or two if I don't get it done beforehand. Yeah. But yeah, one of these days, and my hair is a wreck. I didn't run a comb through it today. Yeah, I'll try some of that to line a holster and see how it works. The thing about lining a holster is all that glue, and I don't like using that glue in that amount because it just freaking gasses you out. But we'll try one. We'll see. The other thing about lining a holster is that you got to run a stitch around the entire perimeter then to keep that from coming apart. So any place where it could come apart. That's why a lot of historical ones, you don't see the back of the skirt on the east lined on lined ones. They usually just run the lining down here and run a stitch through because you got to run the stitch all the way around. Whereas if I lined the full skirt, I'd have to stitch around every one of these loopholes. And traditionally, they'd use deerskin for that, but God, deerskin's so expensive. It would have to be by special request to do that because I couldn't justify doing that. A deerskin is $100 a pop. And I only get 2 or 3 holsters out of that, so that would drastically increase the price. But there's a guy that posts on one of the Facebook groups I'm with on leather making, and he lines them with rain tan that he does himself, and I'm like, holy crap. He makes some damn good stuff. He's one of those top tier folks. Way above my skill level, I can guarantee you that. But yeah, I'm kind of eager to get these holsters done. Then I can start cutting into this new leather and see if how. Yeah, sleep. Yeah, $100 for a buck. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this leather turns out. It looks a lot better quality than what I've got the first time around. Yeah, Sleepy, I've brain tanned some hides. I've got some brain tan right here, too. I brought it along because I thought I might make me some mountain man gear, but I just don't have the time to do it. I need to finish this other pommel bag, but yeah, this is brain tan. This is one that I did. No, that is not one that I did. Yeah, that is one that I did. I did do that one, yeah, because that's one I dry scraped. This is definitely one that I did. So the dark color on it is smoke. I smoked this hide. But yeah, I got a beautiful golden brown color. I should hang these up, but yeah, I still got a good smoke smell to it. I did this a couple of years ago. And I've got a couple more at home that I haven't smoked yet because the year that I was going to smoke them, that we was in a burn ban and could not get a permit from the sheriff to do it. So, things I didn't have a spark arresting system on my smoker, which figured, skin hanging on it would be a spark arrestor, but I guess not. Yeah, it takes a while. It's not terrible. Once you learn how to do it, it's not terrible. It doesn't take real long. Figure a day a hide for me. Somebody that's been doing it a long time can do one a lot faster, I'm sure. Are those brain tan hides, Garrett? No, because those are for my jacket when I get to that point. I'm going to make me a buckskin jacket out of them. But whenever I get to that point, if I got anything left over, I might be able to make a bag for you. Or if you can find one, send to me. I can make a bag for you. But yeah, those are going to go to my jacket one of these days. I got enough deer hides in my freezer to just do a jacket. If I ever get the rest of them finished tanning. And being I don't go up to the ranch in South Dakota anymore, I ain't getting deer hides. Yeah, because up there I could get up to 4 a year. I'm not getting them anymore, and I didn't get anything last year because I didn't shoot anything. Although I could have got 4, 2 antelope and 2 deer if I'd have filled my tags. But you know what they say: shit in one hand and wish in the other, and see which one fills up faster. Yeah, if you come across a brain tan, you want an apostle's bag, yeah, I can do that. But there's one guy I know out in Nevada that does brain tan. He's not doing it now because he's riding the Santa Fe Trail for the symposium. But he does, I think he sells them for $200 a hide, which that's expensive. Chrome tan hides are $100 a piece. Brain tan are another 100 a piece extra, so they're 200 a piece. They get spendy fast. All right, well, we're going to shut her down here tonight. It's just about 11 o'clock, about 3 minutes out. So I want to thank you all for coming along. For those of you that come back after the fact, we're glad to have you here. Too bad we missed you when we was live, but we're still glad to have you nonetheless. We'll tomorrow, probably in the afternoon. I'll probably try to do it about 6 in the evening because I got to get to bed early for work, but we'll try to do some finishing on these. So what I'll do is I'll get the edges dyed up, and then we'll take and burnish them. We'll show that process, which doesn't take a whole lot, just some practice. But yeah, we'll get the edges dyed. We'll get things burnished up. And then these holsters some of these will be ready to go. Yeah, and Garrett, as soon as I get this one, I'm going to have to re-dye it because I didn't get this dyed before I put it on. And this was with light brown, and it just did not cover real well. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a final spray down with that. And then, yeah, most of your holsters are going to be ready to go, Garrett, other than that pommel bag, which is sitting in that box right there. I haven't got too far on it yet. I got to punch a bunch of holes with it. And I did get the buckles in today. So the buckles came in with the leather. So I got the buckles. I'm ready to go on that one. But we'll get that done tomorrow. Oh, crap. I still got to cut the straps out too. So I guess I got to do some other stuff with that one. But anyway, I'm going to get all these holsters done. Then I'm going to focus on Garrett's pommel bags. Because I got to get them tooled. The flaps, I've got to tool and dye. The bodies, I got the bodies ready to go. I can have those stitched up as soon as I get the straps put in place. But, yeah, that's going to take care of it for tonight. So, again, thank you all for coming along. Glad to have you here. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe out there. Don't have too much fun. Well, you can never have too much fun, but y'all take care. Keep your powder dry, and we will catch you hopefully tomorrow. If not, maybe the next week.